Hey, Terry, welcome to GoCast. How are you?
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a great pleasure. Well, more than that, I think it's an honor based on the fact that I reached out to you adding a small secret code, CQSC,
My God,
which is probably what, 15 years, if not more
that's
ago.
long ago. Back in the beginning, that's at least what, 2007?
Well, you're right. It's 20 years now
Yeah,
then.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It been a hell of a ride, I'd say, when I first started in
Thank
cyber.
God we have no gray hair, huh? Thank God.
That's good, right? We probably did something good. So, Terry, can you start by introducing yourself, who you are, what you do, where you come from, what you like, what you dislike?
Okay. Wow. All right. So I'm Terry Cutler. I've been in IT for over 30 years. I grew up in Point Calumet. Remember
Oh,
Point Calumet? So I was the only English guy in that town. So I was the tête carré, the bloke of that city. So
yeah.
I was always passionate about computers since the age of 10. So I got my first computer with the PCMI, the all that stuff, IBM PS2. So always passionate about how computers work. Later on, I got into computer networking. So I went to school for DOS, but I dropped out after one semester. I'm like, I know more than a teacher. So I went to a specialized school that only taught me about Novell. Remember Novell?
Oh, yeah.
Network.
NDS, the
Oh,
tree, yeah,
yeah,
it's
network. So
old.
I actually went on to work for the company for 10 years in premium support.
Oh,
And in the 2003, 2004 range, I started getting inspired by watching shows like CSI and 24. Remember Jack Bauer? I was like, how does
yeah, of
Bill
course.
O'Brien break all these systems so fast? And that's when the certified ethical hacker course was coming out. And so I begged and pleaded with my boss. And Novell sent me to Washington to train with the FBI, the CIA. They were all students in the class. So,
Okay.
all with the knowledge of how hackers break in, I felt it was my duty to train the general public on how to keep safe online. So, fast forward to today, I'm usually a go-to person for most of the media outlets across Canada. So every time there's a data breach that goes on, I'm on CTV, Global News, PBS, whatever it is. And I've won some of the largest awards in the industries. IFSEC Global is the biggest one. What was funny or interesting is that in 2018, the number one most influential person in cybersecurity worldwide, which I found interesting because I can't even influence my kids to come to the table without an iPad. so so that's
Nice.
why I focus on giving a lot of talks, presentations. So like my largest audience is 2,500 people live, and my largest in virtual reality is 20,000.
Wow.
So I try to. There's so much. There's no shortage of content in this world, as you know.
Well, that's crazy. Congratulations, by the way, and it's super nice to hear. That our topic, cybersecurity, is now breaking through the
Yes,
TV shows, and it's everywhere now, right? And
I
it
know that.
used to be two guy in a desert trying to convince people that cyber is going to be something, right?
It's it. It's hard because you have to make hacking sexy, and obviously
True.
Mr. Robot made it flawless. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
these shows in the past were like, this is so gimmicky.
True.
So this is
Yeah. So Terry, you've been in cyber for so long now. What's right now happening in terms of the scheme or whatever the threat actor you're using? What do you see have changed from before to these days?
my biggest challenge that I see right now is a lot of companies don't have the proper detection technology in place to know there's a hacker in their system. So as you know, the average time that a hacker is dormant in their system, like doing active reconnaissance, is 286 days. So
Hmm.
he's kind of ciphering out information, or they're exploiting other machines, but nobody's seeing anything because a lot of times the technology they're using is relying on logs, or they just go out and buy this endpoint protection software, but it's not monitoring a network and it's not protecting their cloud. So
Hmm.
the attacks are coming in from all directions, and they don't have centralized visibility into what's going on. So we work with customers as small as 2 employees. That's our smallest customer. And we have customers with 18,000. So we're all, the majority of our customers are between 50 and 200. So whenever we come in and do these intrusion tests, we purposely set off, poisoning attacks, spoofing attacks, password spraying attacks, like all these standard stuff that's made to create noise in the system, make sure the admins are receiving the proper alerts, and they
Hmm.
get nothing. So they invest all this money on solutions that aren't working, and it's frustrating to see sometimes.
True. There's a lot of investment, and it's not only about tools, right? It's also people and process, and there's a
Yeah.
lot to cover there. With all your experience, what's the what you see? Like, of course, AI is disrupting. We're in the AI bubble, AI everything, everywhere. What's your take on AI slash cyber together?
So it's obviously with AI, the experts are going to be coming in faster. The attacks are going to be coming in faster. And the companies don't have the proper systems in place to react to that type of speed. So at one point, it's going to be my A bot is more worded up than your AI bot, and they're going to start attacking, right? And because we're seeing a lot of changes in companies right now where IT admins or cybersecurity experts has been working for this company for a long time, and all of a sudden they get a better offer or they got laid off, and now the company's starting from zero, and they're going blind most of the time. They don't have visibility. So I think what's happening is, and we're also seeing some mistakes where admins are uploading code into AI looking for vulnerabilities, but then somebody else might be able to pull that information out
Hmm.
and use it
Of
against them.
course. Yeah.
So we're still new with the AI stuff, but it's starting to come out for sure.
And with your, let's call it the hacker's view, because you're doing a lot of pen tests and are you still doing pen tests yourself?
Yes, yeah. So I do some of them, but a majority of the time, because the stuff is changing so fast, I'm letting the youngsters take over a bit. I'm focused more on the quick wins. I focus a lot on automation. So with pen tests, as an example, most companies only get the budget for one pen test a year.
Hmm.
So they come in, they do their pen test, they
It's a
get the
shame.
report, and what happens is, as they start fixing up the stuff in this report, well, guess what? This report's obsolete now. That means you have to
Hmm.
wait 11 months to get your budget back and do it again. And when you do the test, you get to see what was missed, what's new, what changed. So now with some of the newer services that we're offering, what's called pen testing as a service. It's a subscription model where you can do multiple pen tests for the price of one throughout the year. So most of our customers do 4 tests a year. So every 3 months, they get to run a test as it compares it to the last test. Make sure they fixed everything, what's new. Because as you know, there's between 4 and 500 new vulnerabilities discovered every single week.
It's crazy.
So they can't keep up with this. You need automation in place.
Yeah, true, very true. And you know what? I'm looking at the blog from CISA, the 0 days that are announced,
Yeah.
and there's one major vendor I won't name, but a firewall vendor that is super vulnerable right now. And I reached out to them, ask them, hey, what's your R&D answer or your development team answer on that? Well, hold on, there's no answer. It's not like, oh no, we know that flaw was we're fixing it and it's not affecting this, and you should be patching that and blah blah blah. It feels like the culture of protecting, it's still not up to where it should be. And I'm talking a lot with offensive security people versus defensive security people, and there's a lot of hype behind finding a vulnerability or destroying a network or something, but not so much in you've secured the whole infrastructure by protecting one action here or there. What do you think about that? Because I guess you're more on the offensive security side, but you're also on the protection side. But
Yeah.
there's kind of a unbalanced
Yeah.
challenge here.
We go between the two. And what really sucks about this is that since the CQSI days, we're still talking about patch management. Fix your
True.
patches. FA, do you have it? Most companies still don't have it. And get good protection in place. Get your passwords. Get your EDR. Some companies still don't have EDR. So we're still dealing with that. So going back to the firewall vendor, they can't start mass updating all these people because sometimes it's going to break things. And we're starting to see stuff now where hackers are using what's called lay of the land attacks. In that real case, this is where we got brought into a ransomware investigation where they got into the firewall vendor, got access to their Active Directory, and they bitlocked 400 machines. It's not even a ransomware attack; it's BitLocker, and they had
Hmm.
EDR, and it was a high end EDR technology that was running on those machines, and it still bypassed it because it's legit. It's legit tools.
Yeah.
So how do you get around that? It's very difficult.
Yeah, true, very true. PowerShell, BitLocker, it's all stuff that is already in the system. So let's move to another topic, Terry, if you don't mind. CQSC 20 years ago, very strong community at the time, right? It was already like 200, if not 300 attendees for that event,
Yeah.
and was still growing. When I left, it was 700, which is probably 7 to 9, 8 years after. But anyway, where do you go today to stay up to date and still be a world influencer? Terry Cutler.
Well, you know what's interesting? So I've not been back to Quebec since CQSI. Okay,
Oh,
I went to
really?
my first Hack Fest recently. Every year they tell me to go, but it falls on my son's birthday, so I never get a chance to go. But this year I went, and it was a lot of fun. There was several hundreds of people there, and
Yeah.
it was great. So I have some private forums that I'm part of. I watch a lot of let's see, when people post their videos online, I watch some of their stuff, or I watch the recordings of their keynotes at certain events. Travel these times is pretty difficult because I'm just so busy. I don't have time to
Mhm.
spend 3 days at a conference, and I come back and I got 600 emails waiting for me.
Oh,
It's
sure.
nuts. So it's
Yeah.
very. I need an assistant. I need a clone. I got to figure out the AI piece to clone myself.
Well, by the way, I've tried because probably there's a lot of people that like me, but having a mailbox full is a problem. We want to like clean it as much as we can. So of course now there's vendors that are selling us, hey, here's a tool that will clean your whole mailbox. I
Yeah.
won't name the product, but I,
Will it begin with
subscribed.
an F?
No, with a S.
Oh, okay. So I tried the one that
Anyway.
begins with an F, and they're like the same concept. It's supposed to access your inbox and check for junk or maybe missed
Mhm.
opportunities and all this kind of stuff. And it did nothing for me. It just created a bunch of draft
Same.
emails. And I'm like, okay, that's cute, but that was it. I'm like,
So same for me, same experience. Now I'm stuck with more spam because these
yeah,
guys try to keep, selling me that thing. But
exactly.
honestly, it was crap. It went into my mailbox and tried to categorize and other answer. We're not there yet at
You didn't
all,
take care of that. You
honestly.
didn't take advantage of their Cyber Monday deal.
Absolutely. So what's the future? Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you up to?
So I'm starting to see a lot more attacks against consumers. I've always had something for them where these guys have no protection. They have no awareness training. So I've been focusing on that since 2013. So the challenge I was faced was because I do a lot of talks around the world, I can't be in 50 places at once. So I created a digital product called Internet Safety University. So today it has over 43,000 students from 160 countries in it. But as you know, this stuff changes all the time.
Mhm.
So let's say you're doing a video about how to update your Windows, and then 2 weeks later, Microsoft goes and changes the interface of it. Nah, I gotta go redo this video. And I have like over
True.
83 videos in the library right now. And to go back and update some of these things, it just takes a long time. Actually, that's why
Time
I'm in studio
consuming.
revamping some of this stuff now.
Cool. So yeah, you're really giving back to the community, right?
Yeah,
With classes and courses. That's I think the first layer of defense, right? Being aware, being trained,
that's
and
it.
we do a lot of incident response here at GoSecure, and the one we see the most right now is the breach email compromise. It's like 9 out of 10.
So
Someone.
bring up to that
Yeah,
point. So the stuff that I'm teaching is very different from the know before and such of the world. My stuff is how to protect your kids online, how to protect your Instagram accounts, your bank accounts, all that stuff. My philosophy was if I can educate those folks to take care or take pride in their cybersecurity, they can bring that knowledge to the workforce.
of course.
Because a lot of times now we're seeing, two-step verification bypasses. People's Instagram accounts are being hacked into. People are losing
Hmm.
their shirts, they're losing their money with their banks, their retirement because they're able to bypass two-step verification. But then where do you go from there? They don't have access to efficient resistant MFA like in the corporate side does. So
Yeah.
what people aware.
No, you're right, and even you bring MFA fatigue on top.
Yeah.
There's other mechanisms that can bypass those, but yeah, no, that's super right. By the way, when will we have like cybersecurity classes in elementary school? I mean, it should be there, right?
I've taught as early as grade one. Majority is grade four and up for me. But when I went to teach grade four one time, I was shocked that some of the kids already knew about Kali Linux. So one kid
True.
specifically, I was like, how the heck do you know about this? And he was asking me
Wow.
questions about Metasploit and what's the other one? The Maltigo. I'm like, how do you
Yeah.
know this stuff? This is pretty creepy. So
True, and
they're
it's
learning at a very young age.
very true, and especially now with AI, if you bring AI on top of, because I think those tools are already backed by AI, so it's even
Yeah.
faster. I had to learn COBOL and Rust and Java to be able to go through my career. Right now, they don't
Yes.
even need to because they can ask AI to build code, which is pretty easy now, right? So
What's interesting is I'm doing a keynote talk in the new year in India. So already I'm getting a lot of requests. Hey, how do you hack this? How do you hack that? So the thing is, some of these some of these kids want to jump into cybersecurity, but they have no IT background. So you can't just jump into cyber without having
mm,
some knowledge of how TCP/IP works and all the IT side of the house. But they just want to learn how to hack an Instagram account or they want to hack their friend's stuff. I'm like, no, this is like illegal stuff. You gotta learn the
yeah.
way.
And when you do understand the base layer of networking, you're able to, bypass and understand why it's going to work, right? How many of us still remember the OZ layers, right?
Yeah.
The seven
Yes, I
layers
love
of.
single layers. Yeah. I remember all of them.
Well, hey, Terry, it's the time we had. Thank you very much for coming to GoCast. It's a super great honor, pleasure. I wish that next time you travel again to Quebec City and we can sit down to
I
the
will.
red couch and continue the conversation.
I love it. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having me. I appreciate it.
Have a great day. Thank you. Bye bye.